last episode, our Cyberpunks arrived in New Orleans. There, they spoke to Michael Hart, a fixer who has promised to help deliver Adriana Young, who is a clone of her sister, um, deliver them to Night City, where they are to turn her in for some nice big bounty. Um, During the meeting, Hart said that he will have a flight ready for them to Night City. All they need to do is get to Galveston, Texas. Of course, it all seems too easy, but there is little choice for them with Biotechnica on their trail. It's not only Biotechnica, but it also seems there may be Arasaka as well involved. During the night, a group of mercenaries by the name of the Cajun Hunters made their move against the party, try to capture them. After a quick battle between the group and the mercenaries, Mimi headed out into the night seeking more cybernetics to make herself more capable, more stronger. But upon her return, and after an emotional exchange, Sig flatlined Mimi there in the hotel room. That's where we'll begin. The sound of distant gunfire and blood-curdling cries can be heard over the loud drone of torrential rainfall. A young Colt stands in rapidly pooling water in the center of a muddy village as rain pours down upon him in a deluge. His rifle is pointed at a figure not more than 3 meters from him. They're both clad in the same woodland camo BDUs as the rest of their squad.
Put it down, Manny.
Manny's gaunt, wiry silhouette gives him an inhuman appearance in the pre-dawn darkness. The flicker of firelight in his eyes betrays his sinister intent. Although Manny is a mere 18 years old, as is Colt, he appears much older. His face is marred by scars from years of violence. In his right hand, Manny holds the gun of a flamethrower, the backpack strapped to his shoulders. He has it pointed at a family of villagers huddled about 5 meters to his right.
They're just civilians. Let them go.
They're in the AO. They're enemy combatants. Now lower your iron. I'm going to flatline you next.
Colt adjusts his aim to indicate that he doesn't intend to relent.
You still don't get it, do you, Alex? You and me, we're predators. They're prey. That's the way it's always been and always will be. They toil in the dirt because they're stupid and weak. It's a natural order that we take whatever we want and eliminate those unfit for this world. The faint mechanical sound of servos and actuators can be heard as Manny shifts his weight in the mud. What then? You're going to zero me? You better, because those people are going to die otherwise. Whimpering can be heard from the 2 small children as their parents gather them close. Manny begins slowly walking towards Colt, the gun of his flamethrower never leaving his target. Do it. You're the only one that can save him. Murder your best friend, your brother. Show me the killer you are. Colt's hand begins to tremble as Manny draws nearer, until the barrel of his gun is inches from Manny's face. Manny grasps the barrel of Colt's rifle and places it to his forehead.
Colt hesitates, looking at the family, then back at Manny.
Go on then, shoot!
Colt flinches, pulling the barrel to the side and away from Manny.
Fucking coward. Manny lets loose a stream of fire onto the terrified family, and they howl in agony as the flames engulf them.
Colt drops to his knees, letting the weapon fall to his side as he gazes upon the horror that he has allowed.
Manny stands over Colt, glaring down upon him in disgust. He then turns and walks past his burning victims, their cries silent now. Colt looks to the burning heap that used to be a family, and he sees an arm, a hand charred and pointing towards him accusingly. After regaining his posture, Colt stands and turns to leave the village where a boy not older than 9 or 10 runs out from one of the burning homes with an assault rifle. Colt draws a bead on the children with his rifle before the boy has a chance to shoulder his assault rifle. Seeing the terror on the boy's face, Colt hesitates, and the boy manages to fire a round. The report of the boy's rifle causes Colt to pull the trigger reflexively. Both Colt and the boy fall to their sides in the mud, facing one another. A pool of blood begins to form from Colt's abdomen. Blood streams from the hole in the boy's forehead. The last thing Colt sees as his vision blurs are the wide, lifeless eyes of the child he just killed. You see Mimi's lifeless eyes peer back at Colt, his vision's fading, and he returns to the present. Colt sits kneeling on the floor beside Mimi's body.
Good. Colt passes his hand across Mimi's eyes, closing them to the world one last time. And Colt stands up, grabs his jacket, and he makes for the door.
Adrian is going to turn to Axel. I don't understand, Axel. Why did Sig kill Mimi?
Well, Mimi was going slightly crazy, and I think Sig felt like she had to do it.
Do that to her own sister.
I don't think I have all the answers myself. Strange thing we do for family. To family.
Colt stops at the threshold of the door, and without turning back to address either Axel or Adriana, he says, "Prep the body for transport, please." And then he
I'll take
exits
care
the
of
room.
it.
Colt heads down out of the room, and he scans the area for any sign of Sig.
Yeah, you see Sig not too incredibly far off from the hotel. She's crossed the street and she's standing on the dock overlooking the water. Her back is to you. She's just lost in the scenery.
Colt approaches till he's about 10 feet away. He stops and pauses. And then he approaches again. He takes his jacket and he drapes it around Sig's shoulders. And as he does so, he turns her around to face him, holding the jacket close around her. And he peers directly into her eyes. For the first time, maybe that you've known Colt, he doesn't wear an expression of anger or annoyance or paranoia, but you see understanding in his eyes and profound empathy for once. And he just nods to you.
I think Sig lets him do this. She's tense. She remains quiet, but you can see inside of her eyes that there's a newfound hollowness there and an emptiness at the loss of her sister. She doesn't even really acknowledge your nod. It's almost like she's looking through you.
Colt pulls her close and into an embrace. He just holds her there in
You
the darkness.
Feel like just a deep sigh come out of her when you do this, and every inch of tightened sinew just relaxes and almost collapses against you. She's exhausted, but more than anything, she's lost right now. And you feel her arms snake around your waist and just kind of hold on as if she's holding on for reality.
Yeah, imagine they just stay like that for a while without speaking.
Yeah, I think after a nice long moment, she'll remain like that until she kind of finally breaks away from it. She hasn't been crying. There's still that scary hollow in her eyes. And she's gonna turn and she's gonna look back out to the water. You got one of my smokes?
He produces your pack of cigarettes from his jacket and offers you a cigarette.
She's gonna put the cigarette in her lips and she's gonna bring a lighter up. And as she does that, you see her eyes narrow at the lighter, and it's almost like you can see the light bulb go off above her head. I think we got some work to do. You think you can get my sister ready?
We're ready on it.
Yeah. Make sure she has her gun. And all the fucking explosives you can muster. I'm gonna take a walk.
I'll see to it.
Yeah, maybe back here in like 10 minutes.
Colt will head back to the room.
After he walks away, she's gonna take a minute. And she's looking out at the water, but she's very specifically looking at the boats nearby. What does she see out there, Duro?
She sees the vast boats owned by the nomads who live on the abandoned oil refineries and pumps and that sort of thing out there.
Now, she knows she's not a tech girl. That was always Mimi's job. But does she see any boats that are maybe like more of the rowing type, more of the man-powered type boats?
Sig happens to see nearby a little shop, like a boat rental shop nearby, and Sig sees just then a couple on a rowboat out, just like starting to row out into the ocean.
All right. Yeah, Sig's gonna go into this shop.
Okay, so you make your way to the nearby rental service. It's not much. The white wood plank walls are worse for wear. The floorboards creak after years of water damage. Inside, you find an array of kayaks, motorboats, rowboats, and jet skis. A young man stands behind the desk, paying no attention to you as you walk in. He has a blank stare, open mouth, a blank, open mouth, 1,000-yard stare. On the counter, you find a small bag of white powder. You approach him, but you don't see him reacting to you at all.
Did I see where maybe these boats are being stored near the shop?
There's some just on the behind the counter. You see the push off area just a bit further down. They have all the boats sort of stored on the sides. That makes sense.
She's going to walk up to the counter and do one of these in front of his face without saying anything.
He doesn't even flinch.
She walks right by.
Okay, so there's an assortment of boats available to you. You can just pick whichever one looks the nicest. You got, kayaks, rowboats, motorboats, jet skis.
She looks around the area. Does she by chance see any maybe any cans of spray paint or anything like that laying around?
Yes, there are
boat paint.
Yes, boat paint. Yep.
Some rattle cans.
Rattle cans. You got some, gallon buckets and that sort of thing.
She's gonna try to find a rattle can that's in like a obnoxious electric green color, and she's gonna shake it up and choose one of the more beat up looking rowboats of the mix, and she's gonna write Mimi sucks really big down the side of it and just kind of haul and push it off into the water.
Okay. And do you get into the boat?
Yeah, she's gonna get in and start rowing it back to the dock area where she was standing prior.
All right, so you bring it back there and you're able to, with the rope that's on there, you just lash it around one of the boardwalk posts, whatever they're called. Ready for...
Yeah, I don't even think she gets out of it. I think she's sitting in it, just like, she lights up that cigarette finally, and she just sits in the boat and stares out into the water, just kind of feeling the rhythm of those small little waves that are breaking against it from the ocean, just waiting for everybody else.
Okay. So, Axel, you are cleaning up Mimi, right? Are you just sort of gathering?
Yeah, I would have taken a sheet off the bed and rolled Mimi up in it, nice and tight, draped her jacket over the body, and had it been preparing it when Colt probably would walk into the door, seeing me finish up.
And Colt's going to just walk right into the room and start gathering up all of Mimi's possessions.
Okay, so you grab her bag, her gun, all the explosives, that sorts of things.
Yeah, I feel like she said something about taking the tchotchke off of her gun.
No,
So
she
I
just
do
told you to bring her and all of her belongings.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
right.
Axel, as Colt's gathering up the things, turn to him and be like, "Did she say where to meet her at, or to do with the body, or to take it?"
We gotta take her to the boat.
Okay.
Is it night out currently?
It's the morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like really early morning, if I remember correctly, because it was like the sun was just rising at the end of the last episode.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah, we should roll Mimi and all her stuff up, and just you and I, Axel, cart this out.
Okay, we can do that.
So we're going to head back down to where Sig launched that boat.
All right, so you gather up Mimi and all her belongings, and you head to the boardwalk, where Sig is waiting in the boat.
I guess we're all going to step into the boat with her and sit her down. With everything.
Yeah, Sig is gonna stand up and kind of help situate Mimi in the boat. Did you get all of her stuff?
It's all here.
Remind me, Duro, what kind of explosives our dear Mimi had on her little buddy.
She had C6.
And the pineapple, right?
No, that was stolen by the pirates.
These bastards.
Fucking bastards.
Do we need to find a pineapple to commemorate this?
Yeah, I think you see Sig, like, kind of rooting through... Because I don't think Sig knew that the pineapple was stolen. Or did she?
Yes, it was pretty open.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
I
it's being
forgot.
stolen.
Okay, yeah, no. Fuck, I forgot those fucking assholes took the goddamn pineapple. As she's saying this, she's taking the C6 and she's almost forming like a halo around Mimi's head on the boat with it. And she's pulling various like things out of her bag and kind of situating them on her body, almost like adorning the body in some sort of ritual. And the last thing she's going to do is she's going to take Mimi's Uzi and she's going to lay it on her chest at her arms, almost like the Egyptian pharaohs would lay in their tombs with their staves. And she would grab a hold of baby Phil, the little silly doll head tchotchke that's hanging off her gun, and she would, with one yank, just snap it away from the gun. And she's just holding it and looking down at the body, and that empty stare just kind of fills her eyes again as she's looking down at her dead sister. I think after a moment of that silent stare, she is gonna climb out of the boat and stand on the dock. Where is everybody else right now?
We'd be following you.
Did Miss Young join us?
Yes, she's standing next to Axel.
Okay. Sig is standing there and she's kind of fidgeting with baby Phil in her hands, and I think maybe we should say something. Does anyone want to say anything?
Go ahead, creature.
You were quite sweet and weird and funny. I'll miss seeing your face every day. I wish we'd gotten to know each other better. And I'm sure you're headed to a better place now.
Axel will look on. Mimi, I'm not gonna say I didn't enjoy the babysitting, because it was quite fun, and you did show me a good time. You will be missed. You were a rock star. God rest.
Adriana will step forward and say, Mimi and I were, I would hope to think, best friends. She taught me all about explosives, how to make things into art, whatever that is. And I'm gonna miss her. She taught me a lot. She was nice.
I was supposed to go first. Not you. Not like this. You always had to be fucking. You always had to do it your way. Sorry I failed you. I don't know what life's gonna be like without you. Probably a whole hell of a lot more boring. Damn it, Mimi. You suck. And she's gonna take her boot and stick it on the side of the boat and just give it one good shove out into the current of water. Please tell me that fucking current takes that boat. I will scream.
Yes, we'll say it takes it. Takes it out into the big ocean where
As
to a
it's
spot where there's not a whole lot of ships nearby.
well, that's not any fun. Sig's gonna look to everybody. Are your arms ready? And she's gonna pull her pistol out of her jacket because her rifle is currently back in the room and aim it at the boat. As she waits for everyone else to pull their weapons out.
Colt draws his SMG.
Axel pulls out his pistol.
On a count of 3, let's light her the fuck up, boys. 1, 2, 3. And she's gonna unload a whole clip into that boat.
All right. Colt dumps a mag.
Axel too.
In a fiery array of bullets shooting at this boat, they penetrate into the C6, causing an enormous explosion which sends a shockwave that almost knocks you down. There's a huge billow of smoke and fire that engulfs the boat, which shatters into 1,000 pieces. As it clears, you see there's no remaining pieces of the ship or Mimi left.
I think I need a little time before we meet with her connect. They're not going anywhere anyways. Maybe a drink.
Yeah, let's get moving.
Definitely get away from this. Let's go grab our shit. Find somewhere to have a drink. And then we head to our next destination. Sound good for everyone?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Sig's gonna lead the way back into the hotel room. And she's gonna like pack her duffel bag and load up all of her things. And while she's doing that, she's gonna take baby Phil and affix him to her rifle before she slips that into her bag.
Yeah, car's loaded.
Reminder that we are in New Orleans. It's completely underwater, so you would have a boat
Boat.
yeah, to be on.
I think we took a taxi to the hotel anyways, if I remember, a boat
Yeah.
taxi. Yeah. I think she would have a good gauge of where some places were, though, because her and Mimi had spent the day prior on the boardwalk nearby, visiting shops and like doing things. Would there be a nearby bar that she would have seen?
Sig would have seen the Black Flag Tavern.
I love the name of that. You think Henry Rollins is vibing in there? Let's go say hi.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I think she would just walk everybody there. She would just grab her duffel bag and kind of sling it over her back and just kind of lead the way to the bar.
Okay, so you head over to, like I said, the Black Flag Tavern. You burst your way through the oak door and are met by the smells of, ale and beer, sour ale, and that sorts of things. At the bar, you see a one-eyed woman. She has a little name tag. It says Peggy. You see her serving drinks to the patrons. And you see a spot open at the bar.
Awesome. Yeah, she's gonna slip on the stool and kind of let her duffel bag drop to the floor at her feet.
Yeah, Colt will do the same.
Yeah, Axel will sit next to Sig on the other side of Sig at the bar.
All right, and Adriana will take a seat as well.
Poor sweet Adriana, dragging her to some place called Black Flag. I'm sure she fits in so well with her horrifying new face.
She got Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 in the face.
Yeah, she's
She's
Bubba.
gotta be super traumatized.
She's fucking Bubba.
Do you call over Peggy?
Yeah, I don't think she says her name though. I think she just like slides her credit chip out in front of her and just kind of stares forward. I think Colt and Axel would definitely notice an obvious shift in Sig's demeanor. She's always been a very stern person, but that sternness was always more so motherly, and now it just seems mean. There's no way around it.
Adriana will say, Sig, I have to ask, are you feeling okay? I know it's very dramatic. Well, I don't know from experience.
Adriana, why don't you mind your own fucking business? I need a drink.
And Adriana will turn away from you.
Jesus fucking Christ. Is there anybody actually tending this bar? And she like slams her hand down on the counter a few times.
Peggy will she'll take her time getting over to you. She's sort of walking her way over there. She stares at you with her single eye, with her hands like spread out across the bar.
Whiskey, double, neat, whatever the fuck these clowns want. on me.
Coffee. Colt smoking, chain smoking cigarettes.
Wasn't expecting that. I'll just take a whiskey.
Peggy, she kind of gives you all a sour look as she stands up and turns around and starts fiddling behind the bar.
I would say Sig returns a sour look, but she started out with a sour look, so.
I think Axel will turn to Adriana and just be like, give Sig some time. She's gonna have to work through this.
I'll make sure to keep that in mind. I'm not too familiar with all this.
I don't
Yeah.
understand real human emotions. I'm a clone. I feel like Sig says that under her breath because you guys are sitting right next to her. But she's still like stone faced, just looking at her hands.
Peggy starts, clanking the drinks on the bar in front of each of you.
Axel just takes a sip.
Sig shoots the double and drops the glass on the bar and just kind of does one of these for another round.
Peggy gives you a smirk as she, once again, starts fiddling behind the bar. And then, just like that, she places another round in front of each of you.
She notices that Axel's only taken like a sip of his whiskey, and she looks over to him and she says, "Drink up, Axel. We're celebrating the life of my sister." And she holds up her glass. To
Axel
cheers.
will hold up both glasses now and cheer and down them both with Sig. To your sister.
She takes a sizable gulp, but she doesn't down the second one entirely. I'd say she probably drinks about half out of the glass on that one gulp. And drops her glass back onto the bar top. She's gonna look around the bar. What's the status in here? I know it's like early in the morning, so I'm assuming there's just a bunch of like drunkard barfly types in here.
Exactly.
Is it pretty quiet?
It is. Like you said, there's just like, the people who wake up and go to the bar as their breakfast, I suppose. Just some people playing cards and that sort of thing.
Would you say that there's like maybe an empty table
Yeah,
in there,
there's an empty
like
table.
in like a nice private area? Yeah,
Yeah.
she's gonna stand and grab her bag, and kind of look to the crew. Maybe we should go have a chat about our agenda today. Probably not in front of Peggy here. And she's gonna just kind of turn and wander back to that back corner.
Colt extinguishes the remainder of his cigarette as he's lighting up another one and heads that direction.
Axel has just come to the realization there's no more candy.
We blew it
His
up.
supplier's gone.
Supply's gone. No candy, no synth coke. Oh my god. What's Colt and Axel gonna do? And now you're stuck with me.
Oh no.
We're gonna get a room with padded walls.
Woof. You're gonna get a fancy new little jacket where your arms can't move so well anymore.
Where are the buckles on the back?
That new design.
We are going from here. The plan, table talk real quick, is that we're meeting up with the nomads from Clearly. And we are going with them to Houston to catch a flight. Was it Houston?
You're going to Galveston, Texas, which
It was
is
Texas. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew it was Texas.
Yeah, it's just outside of Houston, so
Okay. All right.
basically the same thing.
I don't know how much I trust these nomads. I think Grace and Clearly are good people. But good people are often fools.
Colt's lighting up another cigarette, and he says, well, as a general rule, I don't trust anybody.
Weighing
rule.
our options. There's Michael
Fuck Heart.
or the nomads. I think we have better luck with the nomads.
Yeah. At least we know they ain't working with corpos. Sure, they're not going to be too happy with us showing a bit late today. We were supposed to go in the morning, but surprises around every corner. Can tell you I'm not ready to get on another fucking plane.
Yeah, no thank you.
Yeah. I ain't fucking crashing. I'm going out in a blaze. Planes just are my style. I feel like we just got lucky with the last one.
We've had better luck in boats.
True. But I don't think we're gonna get a boat tonight, City. We just need to be real smart. Keep our eyes open. Don't trust anybody. Any final wishes before we leave this shithole?
I'm already done with it.
You and me both. Think I can mark New Orleans off on my to see list. No reason to come back here ever again. Just gonna pick up her glass and shoot the rest of the whiskey.
Colt just guzzled hot coffee. Just shot it.
Well, guess it's time to meet our connect. Just get out of here.
Let's go.
You gather yourselves and begin to walk to the offshore nomad colonies where Joe Satch is to meet you. In the shadowy recesses of some unseen corner, a Zippo makes a defined metallic clinch. The zip of a flame being produced and an unmistakable smell of a freshly lit cigarette wafts, battling against the stink of the city. Being watched is never something one wants to digest, but even more so, being the watcher takes patience and finesse. A lone figure steps out into view, and the group is met with tight sinew, compact beneath the hard stare, tattoos depicting ties to Russia and prison alike, and more distinctly the gentle glow of cyberware. Long limbs and a grease-stained pair of coveralls, heavy boots all make up a woman with an expression lingering between a grimace and absolute neutrality. She takes a long drag, unafraid of those standing before her. She tuts at them, exhaling the smoke through her nose. The Zme of St. Basil's, the Zeitgeist, gives you all this once over before nodding her head. She has found the right group.
This woman, she approaches the group. And I mean, like Duro said, you can certainly tell there are ties to Russia. St. Basil's is tattooed across her chest. There are Russian prison tattoos. You know from this that she's, if you know anything about tattoo culture, especially Russian tattoo culture, she has done time, serious time. And she sort of looks at the group here and will say, "Don't go to Galveston if you value your life."
What? Do we know you?
Is there anything I could roll to kind of judge if maybe Sig knows anything about her tattoos?
Let me see. You could roll a history or it's like a street sense or something like that.
Streetwise? I think Streetwise would probably be a good one for her.
Okay.
I agree.
Streetwise.
All right. That's a 14.
Sig isn't particularly knowledgeable about these sorts of tattoos.
Okay. Don't go to Galveston.
No. You've been set up.
How would you know? Who are you?
She sort of takes a drag from her cigarette and looks you up and down, Sig, and you see just the hint of a smile sort of tug at the corner of her mouth. My name is Natalia. You can call me, or maybe I'm known as Natalia the Zeitgeist. Hart used to work for Arasaka, if you haven't figured that one out. Weir pulled him out. I don't know. One of you is missing, though. My intel says that there should be another.
Yeah. I shot her in the face.
Too bad. Boris sent me. That one, the one you shot in the face. I don't know if you know, I've been telling Boris every step of the way. He said some sort of relationship with her. He's been backtracing all your contacts. You're fucked if you go to Galveston.
That little fucking shit. Damn it. I tried to warn her.
Warn her for what? For saving your ass? Boris looked out for her.
So what are you telling us to do now then?
You divert. To go to Corpus Christi instead. So, after the raiding of the Arasaka New Orleans office computers, don't worry about how I got in there, okay? Don't mind that. I found some recent photographs of Hart and Okana, the director of the Southeastern United States Regional Office. The photos were incriminating, you could say. That's why Hart works for him. There is an Arasaka reception waiting in Galveston. Go to Corpus Christi instead. From there, you can travel by road to Nate City. Unless you want to go to the big Arasaka party, who am I to deny you of that? But fuck me, I guess, right? Maybe I'm the fucking fool. Unless you want to fucking open that little head of yours. Yeah?
How do you suggest we get to Corpus Christi?
Do I look like a fucking pilot?
And what about you? Why are you telling us this? Why do you give a fuck?
I fucking hate corpos. I'm an activist.
Everybody's got an angle.
Well, yeah, of course. You'd be foolish to think otherwise. Maybe I want to make some money. Maybe I want to make a name for myself. Maybe I want to be a big star in shining lights. Who fucking cares? I'm here to help you. Problem?
And you work with Boris?
Boris is a friend of mine. I work alone. I'm helping him out. I expect some payment down the line when Boris isn't so much in the fucking shithole. The man likes to gamble. So, I'm sure I'll get paid one way or another.
So what? You trying to join? Get a cut?
She's gonna laugh at you directly in your face. I don't fucking care if I get a cut from you, from Boris, from whoever, from Jesus Christ his fucking self. Just don't go to fucking Galveston. Look, if you're looking for a hired hand, you can hire me. I'm not cheap though.
What do you do?
You want me to see me break things, take things apart, put them back together again, fix things, blow things up,
You're a
shoot
techie.
things. Was it obvious?
You know, my sister was a techie. That's what got her shot in the face. It's not gonna happen with you, is it?
I don't know. You shot somebody else in in the face. If I become a problem, I guess you can shoot me in the face. Do you think I give a shit what you think? Are you saying I don't really want to ask that many questions about why the fuck you shot your sister in the face, but I don't think that I would necessarily do something that bad. I don't know. Maybe I will. You can never tell sometimes.
So once we get to Corpus Christi, you got contacts to travel by road? Or are we just winging it when we get there?
Referee?
Uh, she would not know what to do next. She just
I'm
says
just there.
yep.
Listen, all I know is don't go to Galveston, go to Corpus Christi. That is the information that I was told. Beyond that, flying by the seat of our pants.
She's gonna look to Colt and Axel.
Colt's just taking a drag off a cigarette and he just says, I don't know why I wouldn't trust her. I feel like I've trusted everyone so far. What's it going to matter if we go there or not at this point? Who can we trust? You trust Hartley?
Trust Hart? You think I should trust Hart?
Fuck Hart.
After what I just fucking told you, you fucking stupid. And she's gonna look directly at you, Colt, and she's sort of like waving her cigarette in your face.
Okay. He's not exactly sure what to make of that.
Look, we already know Colt, or we already know parts of fucking Corpo. Sniffed it out
Yeah.
on the first meeting. It was an easy one.
No, even worse. He's not even a corpo. He's a fucking dog for a corpo.
Might as well be a fucking Corpo. All right, well,
So, yeah, why not trust her?
we got some nomads to see. They're the ones taking us to Galveston. I'm sure we can reroute that. Nothing surprises me anymore. Look, if you want to tag along, there's room in the group. Be my fucking guest. Do whatever the fuck you want. I know what I'm doing.
She's gonna look at a watch that's not there on her wrist. Well, I don't really have anywhere else to be. And if you say there's a cut, then I could use a cash flow.
We get another 5K when we hit Night City with the girl. Each.
Each, you say. She's gonna look at Adriana. That girl.
Yeah, she didn't always look like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's pretty fucked up looking. What did you do to her?
Hey, she's beautiful.
Do you feel beautiful? She's gonna ask that to Adriana.
Well, I'm not too sure. She stands behind Axel.
Sig glances back at Adriana and then back to Natalia. Look, she's a fucking Frankenstein. We recognize this. We have some work to do. But currently we need to get the fuck out of New Orleans before we have to worry about that. I'm guessing the last time they clocked her, it was probably based on her eyes, so gonna need to take care of that. You say Corpus Christi. I'm on board.
Right.
The 5K was promised from Hart, however. Now, if you'll let me finish talking. The last I heard, our princess, Miss Young here, has about 1 million eddies on her head. It's quite a lot. I think as long as we get her to Night City, we can sell her to the highest fucking bidder. I don't give a shit what happens to her. Just want this to be done. So, there's your offer. We split 4 ways. Just gotta get her to Night City.
Sally's gonna sort of suck on her teeth, and she's gonna drop her cigarette and stamp it out, and she's gonna walk back to where she had come from. And when she returns, in her hand is a case. So you'd think that she would have like luggage or a suitcase or something. It's very clearly a firearm. very clearly a rifle used for long range. And she's gonna look you dead in the eye, Sig, and she's gonna say, "You're a fucking bitch. You know that, right? But I like that. Let's go."
She's going to start leading the way down the road. And as she's leading the way, she's kind of talking to Natalia through what's happening. Look, we're heading to the oil fields by the ocean. We got to meet up with our Connect Joe, cousin of a man named Clearly, who saved our asses a couple nights ago out in the water. Good people. Too good of people. Don't know about this Joe guy. I guess we'll find out when we get there. I'm pretty good at sussing out people.
Huh. I don't really believe in the idea of good people.
They're there. They just so happen to be stupid, too. Unfortunately.
That I might agree with you with.
She's gonna look over at Natalia's rifle. What do you have?
That's a great question. I would love to be able to tell you that information. She is carrying a Ronin light assault rifle, but she uses it for long range.
Nice piece. You're not the up front gunner kind of gal, are you?
Let me tell you a little bit about myself. If for whatever reason I find that I am upfront and personal with somebody, I'm going to make it personal. Gun can't do that, but my hands can.
Good. We're probably gonna fucking need it where we're going.
Excellent.
All right, so you head to the meeting spot at the offshore nomad colonies. Is that right?
Yep.
In there? Okay. Soon after you arrive, you see I'm gonna switch to this. You see a tall man and a rugged woman approach. They wave to you as they come forward. "Hello," says the man.
Sig doesn't
Must-
wave. I'm sorry, go on, Drew.
He's gonna say, "You must be who I spoke to yesterday."
Are you Joe?
"That's right. This is my partner, Sue."
Clearly says you owe him one. Sends his regards.
"It's been years since I've heard from Clearly, and it's to help you five. What exactly am I signing up for?"
Don't you worry about that. Need a ride. Gotta get to Corpus Christi. You get us there?
"Got a amphibious plane just short walk by. We can get you there."
How soon?
Just gotta load it up. Be off.
Right. That's it. That's all we need. Don't ask questions. The more you know, the more fucked you'll be.
Sue will come forward and say, we're smugglers. I'm not sure if because I told you.
I'm not quite sure if I give a fuck.
Well, guess you don't need some cash.
Why are you trying to offer me cash?
We're looking for a few hired guns to load off some black market Venezuelan clone circuit boards.
We're at.
We're going up to Colorado.
I ain't heading that way. It's a bit far from Corpus Christi.
Then it appears our agendas do not align.
Guess not. She's gonna turn and look to her companions. Any word? Gotta weigh
know.
in?
I don't know about picking up another job in the middle of a job at the same time. What's our alternative here?
I don't feel like smuggling's gonna get me anywhere on the fucking map. Adriana, on the other hand, and she kind of lets her eyes drift over to the girl. She's a big ticket item.
Yeah, I say we keep our eyes on that prize.
Her eyes drift over to Natalia and pause for a minute.
You said these were good people. What happened? Your buddy had the favor that needed to be repaid, and now they're not upholding their end of the deal. That's really unfortunate. And I think she's gonna look over at Joe and say, clearly, it'd be a shame if we reported back to Clearly that you still owe him a favor.
We're still going to take you to wherever it is you need.
Oh, I see. Okay, as long as that is offer is still on the table, well, fuck the job then. Let's get to Corpus Christi. Fuck Colorado. I hate the snow.
Sig's gonna turn back to the pair. Got your answer. Now, let's get on that plane.
All right, so you Joe and Sue take you to the nearby dock where you see a red amphibious plane is tied up just there on the shore or on the dock.
Every time you say amphibious plane, I just think frog plane.
I like that so much. Just
It's
like a little frog.
but it's a plane.
He ribbits. Can it be green? Is the plane green?
Sure.
Yes.
All right, so you all walk up to the ship to the plane.
Yeah. What's this thing like look like? What's like the size of it?
Oh, okay. So, it's 6 seats. Well, let's say it's 8 seats. Maybe it's an extra wide. 8 seats.
Double wide frog plane.
Yeah. Yep. Got a big propeller on the front. It has the flotation skis, I guess, on the bottom of it. It's got big wings. So it's just like your regular old amphibious plane.
Regular old frog plane.
Regular schmegula frog plane.
I love that for us, honestly.
And Joe will turn to you all and say, it'll be a tight squeeze inside, but we'll be able to avoid the Texas Coast Guard. They are quite ruthless, but we'll be able to avoid them undetected in this old baby.
Well, tight squeeze just means we all get to know each other a little bit better.
Sig's gonna be the first to go ahead and step inside and take a seat.
Colt's going to enter with a lit cigarette.
I think Natalia's gonna kind of step aside and sort of wave the rest in, and she's gonna want to get in last.
I think Axel will get in and find a seat next to Adriana.
Okay, and Adriana sits down and I guess it's in the middle.
Natalia's on the end, right next to Adriana, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Joe and Sue, they get in the front, and you hear Joe and Sue flipping switches and getting everything ready. Joe turned back towards you all and say, "There's air protection just above you. Make sure you put those on, or it's going to be very loud in here."
Sig puts her ear protection on. She's got her duffel bag in her lap.
I think you'll notice Natalia does everything very smoothly. She's very confident in the way she moves and acts. There's not a whole lot of awkwardness about her, and she sort of just kind of leans back in the chair, slips the ear protection on, and has her gun down at her feet and sort of lounges.
Colt's got his ears on, head cocked back, eyes closed. He might be asleep, but there's still a lit cigarette in his mouth burning.
Yeah, Axel will put the ears on and a little nervous flying again so soon.
Don't worry, it's a fog plane this time.
I'm imagining the plane from Tailspin.
All right, so Joe, he unhooks the plane from the boardwalk, and he starts the engines. The plane begins to fly off into the sky, and eventually, after like 2-hour flight, you see Corpus Christi, which sprawls along the shores of the Corpus Christi Bay, sheltered from the Gulf by Texas's border islands. The city is greater now than it ever was before Texas became a free state, though not for reasons the government of Texas is always happy about. Since the destruction of Galveston by Hurricane David, Corpus Christi has become Texas's major trade port on the Gulf Coast, accepting traffic from the offshore colonies, Mexico, Central and South America, and the Caribbean islands. These cargoes are carried by nomads, privates, and the like. Joe lands the plane just outside of the city and taxis it into the port.
I think as soon as the plane lands, Sig, who has been white knuckling her bag the whole time, just releases this really long, like,
I think I almost said Mimi. I think Natalia would sort of look at all of you and say, "You guess all just as a group don't like flying?"
you don't happen to remember that airship that crashed recently, do you?
Don't tell me that you were on that. It was quite the scenario.
Yeah.
Oh god, fuck that thing. I hate it.
No, 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 no.
You could say it's, left us with some feelings.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Yeah. She seems sort of to shrug about it. She doesn't really give a shit how you feel about your plane crash.
All right, so Joe has, tied up the plane, and you're free to gather your things and get off.
I guess Natalia would be first off since she was last in, and she'll sort of just wait on the dock for you guys.
Axel will probably be the next off to help Adriana out of the plane.
Okay, and Adriana follows close behind.
Cole's just shaking cigarette ash off of himself as he walks down the ramp.
Sig, ever-present scowl, just steps out of the plane and strides onto the dock. Guess we gotta get into the city. Figure out a way. Night City. Probably would be nice to see a map. Unless, Natalia, you know the roads?
Not as well as I would like to. A map would be helpful.
You don't happen to have a laptop, do you?
No. No. I'm more of a borrowing computers from corpos type of person. I'm not so much of a carry it with me myself. I like to keep my items concise.
What do you need?
Wouldn't you still have Mimi's laptop?
We put everything on Mimi.
You went boom.
Well, I just need access to a computer, really.
Sure there's some sort of internet cafe in the city.
No, I'm certain of it almost. Should we ask around?
Did Joe or Sue get out of the plane?
Joe got off the plane for an inspection, so he's around.
Okay. Sig's gonna approach Joe. Know anywhere in the city we can unwind? Maybe get a glance at the internet?
Well, there's not much, considering most people here are nomads. Might be better off asking around.
All right.
What's the landscape like out here?
So there's like huge amounts of like boats and like amphibious planes, that sorts of thing. On the shore, there are like hundreds of these nomads who are sitting, close together with their other, their family, I guess. It's not a whole city to it, I guess. It's more like a camp, essentially.
Yeah, okay. That's
Yeah,
what I
but
was
Corpus
looking for.
Christi itself, is that... Are we on the outskirts of Corpus Christi? Or it's just like a nomad encampment here?
In like the general spot that you're at, you could go inside into Corpus Christi proper.
Let's see if we can borrow some wheels.
She's gonna glance at you, Colt. These are nomads. They're pretty attached to those sort of things, though. Someone around
I'm
here.
sorry. And then it says wheel borrow again, but he puts in the air quotes.
Right. I don't know if I want to steal from the nomads.
I would prefer not to piss off any nomads in this area, considering she sort of just does a once over with her finger, indicating that there's all nomads in the area. Not wise.
I owe it to Clearly to not shit on his people while we're here. He did us a big favor. So, let's ask around, see if anyone's got some spare tech we can buy off of them. Start there. Someone's
Sounds
got to
good.
have something. It's not like we're poor.
At least maybe perhaps a ride into the city proper. You can't find any tech.
If we get a ride into the city proper, I'm all for borrowing a car. Wouldn't be the first time. Alright. Let's hustle. She's gonna start moving towards the encampment. Does she see anyone that would be convenient to ask questions to?
You see a group of like older nomads. They are wearing like tattered like Texas Ranger jackets that are, they're not like something to be issued. It's more like either they're ex Rangers or they just like wearing it or whatever. Those are the most immediate group of nomads you see. You could also see there are some people who are working out of some vans that look like to be some like shop proprietors.
Probably, I feel like she would probably be drawn to the people working out of their vans, shop proprietors.
Okay. So you approach this one. There's no like signs or anything, but they definitely have like a stall in front of their van here. They have like various like electronic parts, like chips and wires and all that sort of junk, just sort of sitting right in front of their van. And you see the guy who's standing behind his stall. He's very lanky, and he has an arm that's been replaced by a cyber arm. He looks to be like talking to himself, but he's the most immediate person that you see. So,
Hey, Chum. Know anyone that can hook me and my friends here up with a ride into the city?
He sort of glances at you with like a stare. What would I give you a ride for?
Anyone better I could talk to? Someone who isn't gonna end up as dog meat?
And that's when you hear the front of the van, uh the hood like closes hard like a crash. And behind that you see a younger man who has like oil and grease and all over him. He's got overalls, and he comes over to you and he says, pay no mind to him. That's just a guy I hire to work around here. I'm Jim. Timothy. What can I do for you?
Right. Might want to keep that one on a leash. Could end up on the missing persons and the scream sheets, you never know. Me and my friends are looking for a ride into the city.
Well, I just happen to be needing to go to the city. I could take you up there.
Cool. Preferably somewhere where we can connect to the net. If you know of any spots, that'd be nice. But a ride in will do.
I know a place. They let you borrow computers.
She's gonna glance back to Natalia.
Outstanding. It's very good.
And you see Jimothy. He starts closing his doors and like putting all of his stuff in his van. All right, hop in. We'll get you there in no time.
She does just that.
Elliot follows along.
Guess we're cramming in this van too.
All right, so you hop into the van and you head to a shop by the name of let's see, but it's just like a shop. It just says computer parts and that sort of thing. And Jimothy stops in front of it. Well, you got your stuff in here.
Natalia will just hop out immediately. She sort of beelines for the shop, and you'll notice Natalia walks in a perfectly straight line. Like she's done it for many years. She sort of hunches over, her neck down, and her shoulders are forward, her gun case in one hand, and she just marches along, like almost like military style. And she's gonna head right in.
Sig's gonna pile out of the van. Thanks, Chum. And follow after Natalia. What is Corpus Christi a smaller city?
It has grown over over the past cyberpunk years, I guess. I don't know what to call it. But it's pretty large. It's the main hub that Texas uses for this coast for like transportation, that sort of thing.
As Axel gets out the van, he looks around. Is there like a convenience store nearby he could hop into?
Yeah, there's a 7-Eleven.
Nice. Could use a Slurpee. Yeah, I'll head to the 7-Eleven then.
Okay. So Natalia, you go inside the shop and it's completely lined from from the walls down of just like computer parts, like laptops, whatever you need sort of thing. Like a one-stop shop essentially. And behind the counter is a very rudimentary like robot who, it's just a head and it like sparks and fizzles as it moves around. And it says, "Welcome, humans. I am Sam Zero, your client assistant bot. What can I interest you in today?"
Fucking hate retail robots.
That's pretty miserable.
What a fucking life sentence, eh? Alright, Sam, buddy old pal. I need to borrow a computer briefly. I don't want to keep it. I don't want to buy it. I literally just need to borrow it. Please don't sell me anything. Please don't ask me if I want a warranty. I don't want any of those things. I literally just need to use a computer for a brief moment of time so that I might memorize a map.
Borrowing is against store policy.
Of fucking course it is. I want your smallest, teeniest, tiniest laptop then.
You see the wall like pull forward, like there's like a little thing on it that pushes it forward. I don't know how to describe it.
A
But you see this
mechanism?
little thing
Yeah.
push forward with the laptop. Very small laptop.
Natalia will pick it up and she'll sort of like give it a once over and like smell it and lift it up and look back at Sam. How much is this fucking laptop?
500 eddies.
Da, 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 da. 250.
Haggling with a robot. Only a Russian.
I am programmed to not give further than 75% of the marked price. I could give you 400.
Wow, he's programmed to snitch on himself. How convenient.
250 is less than 75%. That's 50% robots. You're not a very good robot. 250.
My computing process has been damaged. You may be correct.
They did psychic damage on a fucking robot. Outstanding. Great. So 250, Mr. Robot, right? Actually, well, if it can't be more than 75%, then maybe we could go down to 200. 200.
Sega's just like arms crossed, watching this with like it's like the first little smirk is cracked on her face this entire time. She's thoroughly amused.
200 of these for the laptop, and then I don't smash in your processor, right? Do we like this, Mr. Sam? Hey, you're a good robot, aren't you?
Sam is programmed to give in to threats. It is acceptable.
Outstanding. I probably could have pushed to 150, but I'll go ahead and give you the 200 because you're a good boy. I'm just gonna give him the eddies.
Okay, you see a little, like a chute where you could put your, well, yeah, where you put your little chip in.
All right, she'll put the chip in, she'll give the 200, and then she'll pull it back out again. And she's going to reach over and pat Sam the robot on the top of his like malfunctioning head. And she's gonna right there in the store, just open the laptop, boot it up. And she's like kind of tippy tapping away.
Sig glances down at her. Perhaps we should do this elsewhere. I'm not sure how good the Corpus Christi PD is, but I'm pretty sure Sam probably just sent them a photograph of our faces.
I think Natalia sort of processes this for a moment and then looks up to you and says, "This is perfectly good haggling, but okay, fine." And she'll close the laptop and hand it over to you. She wants nothing to do with this, like any extra baggage whatsoever. She has her rifle, she has a spare set of clothes in the rifle bag, and that's it. Like, and like a couple like things on her like belt, right?
Yeah, I imagine Sig has her duffel bag slung across her back, and she just doesn't even like think about it, and just kind of puts it under her arm and walks out the store.
All right. And she'll follow she'll follow behind Sig, and then she's pulling out her phone and she's like texting somebody really quickly, and she's more than likely messaging Boris to let him know about Mimi. Guess he didn't know.
You're walking behind me right now? Okay, cool. She wouldn't see this. Colt, where are you?
He was just like stretches back and chain smoking on the sidewalk while you guys did nerd shit.
Yeah, she's gonna come out and sidle up to Colt. Hey, where'd Axel go? We gotta go find somewhere to chill for a minute. Get this info. I think Natalia just broke a robot, and we could be being looked for by the PD right now, so I'm not sure.
It doesn't change anything at all.
No, I'm starting to think all techies are kind of the same.
I did not break a robot. I simply and effectively haggled with the robot. Maybe I will teach you how to do this one day.
Colt's nodding in agreement, like that's a pretty good deal.
I've never paid full price for anything in my life, and they never will.
I am really happy for you for this trick that you've figured out. But I do remember the robot using a term, threatened, that it always agrees when threatened. It's probably a security measure, so it does what you say so it doesn't break the technology, because the robot's probably quite expensive. I would see that being a big expense for the shop. This 500 Eddie laptop probably pales in comparison. Regardless, we should find somewhere to go. Where did Axel go again?
I think he said he was going to grab something from the store. He should be back in a minute.
Axel walks into the 7-Eleven. Who's in here? What does he see?
So you see, your standard 7-Eleven. You got your rows of snacks. Got your drinks along the perimeter. You got your Slurpee in the middle. There's a few customers here and there, and there's the first behind the counter, who
All right.
is he's a large man. He's got a shirt that's too small, it's all greasy. He's got a balding head. He's got glasses on, and he's just sort of staring at everybody as they
Uh,
come in.
I'll walk to the Slurpee machine. Does it look like it's working?
Yes.
Um, I guess Axel will grab a cup and pour himself a Slurpee. Put the top on it, straw in it, and sip on it, and walk to the candy aisle. And as he's walking, he notices the same style of candy that Mimi had been giving him, or that he had given Colt and he had been sharing with Colt. Um, and for a moment, Axel stops, thinks, and a small tear falls out of Axel's eye as he remembers the good times they had together, as short-lived as it was. Um, he grabs a couple bags of it and heads to the counter. Uh, I'll just take the Slurpee, this candy, and 2 cartons of cigarettes.
So he reaches behind, pulls off the cigarettes, puts it down, and he says, I saw you drinking from that Slurpee. You must pay for that as well.
Oh, I did say I was paying for this.
Hmm. He'll just sort of smirk at you.
Well, ring me up so I can get on my business.
He starts, brings it up, and he hands you the bag of stuff.
All right, I'll pay him whatever it owes and take the bag and head out the door and look to see if I can find the rest of them.
Yeah, they're just across the street.
I head over there, and as I approach, I will hand a carton each to Sig and Colt. I figured you guys would need some extra Sigs.
Excellent, thanks.
Sig takes the carton and just kind of nods. Finds somewhere to settle in. Sure, there's got to be a dark little bar around here. She looks to the boys. I could use a drink after the flight.
Oh yeah, I could go for a drink.
Yeah.
All right, so you walk down the street and you see there's a bar called St. Christie's Finest. There's a big neon sign above it. You can just walk in, and you see the groups, various groups of nomads. They're all sort of sitting, clearly not anywhere near each other. Like even separated at the bar, they don't want to sit next to other groups of nomads.
I think Sig would lead the charge and kind of find a quiet table in the back, somewhere away from the rest of the people.
All right, and you sit down, and a young lady comes over and she takes your orders.
2 whiskeys and coffee. Black.
I'll
She
take
writes it
a
down.
whiskey and coffee as well.
I'll have a double of what they're having.
Natalia sort of rears back at all of this, just like in absolute disgust, and she'll look up at the waitress and say, "Vodka, the whole bottle, please." 1 glass.
All right. She writes it all down and she steps away.
When she steps away, Sig is gonna slide the laptop across the table at Natalia.
She doesn't say anything. She just opens it up and starts working. Um, she types lightning fast, probably faster than Mimi ever did. Um, and within a few seconds, she's look at the map. Okay, that's very good. Then she sort of is like zooming and scrolling and this, and then she's gonna turn the laptop around, and I would imagine there's a route before you.
Yeah. So you would see the the map with the like a little line that goes from here in Corpus Christi and travels all the way across Texas and into, New Mexico and Arizona, and then finally to California where you find Night City.
Gonna have to lift some wheels.
Well, what does not so much my trade as it is, and she sort of waves the rest of you. Your trade.
Yeah, we could boost the car. Shouldn't be a big problem.
You find a car that isn't inhabited by nomads, I can break into it, no problem. But I'm not fucking with the nomads.
Corpus Christi can't be all nomads.
While you were driving around, you did see just like regular people living here, so should be easy finding a car.
This is the hub of Texas. All walks of life here. Sure, it shouldn't be an issue.
Excellent, then. I'm just gonna slide the computer back around and sort of take screenshots of parts of the route and sort of mark them down in the computer so she can reference them later, and then close it and then slide it back to Sig.
Sig's actually gonna pull her bag off of her back and stuff it in there this time so she doesn't have to carry it around.
Axel will pull a piece of candy out, unwrap it, pop it in his mouth. By car, how long is this ride to Night City going to take?
Colt slams his fist down on the table. Where'd you get that?
Do you want one?
Hell yeah, I want one.
I'll pull 2 out and slide them over.
He squirrels one away, he pops the other one.
I think Sig notices the candy and she gets really quiet and that distant look comes back in her eyes. And she just kind of shuts out.
Natalia's like genuinely weirded out by all of you. Just very confused as to what is happening with this candy situation. What the fuck's wrong with candy? I think she'll kind of look between Axel and Colt. Because fiends for candy? Sort of a strange addiction, you know.
There could be worse addictions.
Yeah, like gambling. I should message Boris.
Natalia, how long would this trip be to California?
How long would it be, Ref? Based off of the map.
3 days.
3 days, 36, 48, I don't know, maybe 60 hours. 3 days worth, we'll say. Depends on how fast we can drive.
We'd have to take turns sleeping.
Can you all drive?
Yeah, I can drive. Sig can drive. Sure, Colt can drive if he needs to.
Just gonna look at Adriana. And what about you?
I've never driven before, so I'm okay with learning if someone was to teach me.
I don't really think we have much time about teaching how to drive, so maybe you could be the navigator. It's always a fun job, yeah?
I'd be okay with that.
All right, great. Where's that vodka?
The waitress comes right now and hands you all the drinks that you ordered.
Colt doesn't notice because he's kind of in space that he really loves those Werther's originals.
They're really good with the coffee.
But he eventually finds his whiskeys and he slugs them both back.
Colt would throw the whiskey back and notice that Sig is just off in her own little mind. And try to get her attention. Sig, you there?
Yeah. What's the plan?
Think we're gonna boost a car and take turns driving. If we hustle it out, it could be 36 hours, no stopping unless necessary to fuel up.
Right. She's gonna glance over to Natalia. I hear you say something about Boris.
Yeah. I sent him a message earlier. I was hoping he had messaged me back by now.
Did you tell him?
That Mimi's dead? Yeah.
What did you tell him?
I told him that she's gone.
Do I need to watch my ass?
Boris is not an impulsive man. He's thoughtful. I think he knew something was wrong. He seemed worried about her last time I spoke with him. I don't know what the messages were, but I would imagine it doesn't indicate the whatever reason you had for shooting her. I'll tell you if I find out something else, but I wouldn't be concerned for your ass. He loved her a lot, I think. He spoke fondly of her, at least. She was not without care.
Should tell him come around sometime.
I will do that.
Think I owe him an explanation. to his face. Not over a phone.
The chances of getting Boris out into the world are sort of hard, but I think he'll want that. I think he would appreciate that. He's these types, my type, you know, activists, techies, explosive handlers, whatever you want to call us. We're a strange bunch, I know, but I think Boris is one of the good ones.
Yeah, you just tell Boris I'm ready whenever he is.
I will do that. I think she would hold up a glass of the whiskey and sort of give you a silent, sort of knowing nod and take it back.
Yeah, Sig would reach for a glass and she would look to the table and she would drift again for a moment and then down the drink and drop the empty glass on the table. Tired of this place. Let's go look for a car.
It's a good idea.
Colt will go pay the tab as everyone heads out.
All right, so you all head out, and so you're just gonna look around for a car then.
Yeah, what time of day is it at this point?
I'd say it's about just after noon. So there's gonna be people around, shopping, that sort of thing.
Anyone got a plan?
What's the parking situation on the street here?
So around you see various cars like sedans, trucks, that sort
Are
of thing.
AVs common? Just on the street at this point in time?
I would say yes, considering this is in Texas.
Are AVs better or more reliable transports across long distances than a normal car?
AVs and air vehicle you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, never mind. That is not
Okay.
common. It is not common.
All right.
The only people using those are like the police and like
Okay, that's
mercenary gangs, that sort of thing.
Can we tell an obvious difference between like nomad vehicles and regular vehicles?
I would say
They got a bumper sticker.
there would be something obvious, like some sort of like sign or like sticker or something like that. saying-
Yeah. I feel like nomads, because they are a clan, typically tag their stuff with things, especially their cars, because they're a car club, basically.
Yeah.
As they're kind of walking down the street, just like scoping things out, Sig's gonna look to Natalia. You able to hotwire?
I have a vehicle link.
Is there a car nearby that looks like it's not a nomad vehicle?
You see a new American Motor SUV nearby.
Sig's gonna walk up to it and she's gonna take her pistol out of her pocket and just break the glass right in front of everybody.
I could have picked the lock, I think, maybe. That seems a bit unnecessary, but all right. And you're going to see, in that same manner that she walks all the time, just straight line, shoulders forward, head hunch, like case in hand, just sort of like, she kind of walks like Lurch a little bit. She's just gonna kind of stomp over there.
Yeah, Sig's reaching in and just popping the lock and opening the door and standing there like deadpanned.
All right, my chariot awaits, I see. And she's gonna
Make it quick.
Natalia's just gonna slip in and she's gonna do her vehicle link.
I think
Meanwhile,
Sig's
Colt's
gonna
gonna go
slip in behind her and reach to the back and pop the locks for the rest of the group. She's like very casual about this, but also moving quickly. But everything she's doing is deliberate.
Colt's gonna harass anybody that looks like they're calling someone with a cell phone. Just close it for him and pitch it into the bushes.
I'll get Adriana into the back seat of the SUV.
All right. So y'all hop in. Talia, as you fiddle with the wires under the
Yep.
under the steering wheel, and you're tapping them, and eventually you get it started.
She's just gonna using the vehicle link. She's just gonna once everybody's in and buckled. Well, not even buckled. Once everybody's in, then the doors are closed. She's kind of peeling out.
Yeah, I feel like Sig's door is closed at this point, but she sees Colt like on the street harassing people, and she just like hangs her head out and says, "Get the fuck in."
I think the vehicle's moving before the doors even close. Colt's like hopping on it like it's a moving train.
Yeah.
Smoking and probably yelling at somebody on the street.
Get out of here!
You didn't see nothings. She's gonna look at Sig as she's kind of peeling off. Is he always like that? Is it normal?
Sometimes it's worse.
Worse. So much for a fucking low profile, but all
You
right, I
see-
guess.
Sig just kind of like slinking back, and she throws her feet up on the dash and lights a cigarette and gets comfortable. Let me know when you want to switch. Get us the
What-
fuck out of here.
The link I can drive quite some time, but I'll let you know when I wanna take a break. And she's got like one hand on the steering wheel, the other one sort of leaned over. She's got a lit cigarette and she's just very casually driving. This is very normal for her. Very little does Natalia do that is not a sort of criminal behavior. That's very obvious.